All right, what is up, everyone? What is up, Business 110 capitalists? So I'm very excited to present to you this opening launch video to your group Private Enterprise Can Do It Better experience. So I spent a lot of time, like I said, I want to position you guys properly for this and successfully. Not only that, though, I want you guys to really have an amazing experience. One of the things I talked about, a few weeks ago is I want this to be a living classroom experience for you. What do I mean by a living classroom? My teaching philosophy, my teaching style very much is active learning. Excuse me, still got some lunch coming up from earlier. Active learning, student participation. I'm a business guy. I'm a real world guy. I want to create a living classroom, and a living classroom is actually a classroom that represents and reflects the real life field or purpose or subject matter that you're learning about. The best way to learn is through experience. It's called experiential learning. A while ago, one of my mentors was presenting at a faculty conference, and she said, you know what, students, when students are being interviewed by a prospective employer, students will struggle over the question, what did you learn? But they have an easier time answering, what did you do? Because by describing what you did, you're in essence explaining what you learned. And that's what experiential learning is called. It's experiential learning. Some of you know it by competency-based education. But regardless, it's a living classroom environment. So I'm excited about that. So the reason why I created this Private Enterprise Can Do It Better is because private enterprise can do it better than government. Now, am I bashing the government? No. What I'm saying is we rely too much on the government to do the things that we should be doing through private enterprise. And I hope that was apparently clear through the previous article I had you guys do. Well, the post for the discussion post in terms of really what is capitalism, what is private enterprise. Private enterprise can do it better, hands down. So what better way than to give you guys the opportunity as a group to solve a social issue using a private enterprise solution. And the reason why I chose these very carefully. Poverty, for example, right? I think a couple years ago, I know it was recently, we celebrated, the war on poverty, 60 years, yay, 60 years, the war on poverty. Let me tell you something, y'all. If we've been fighting a war for 60 years, do you think that we're successful at it? I would think not. If we're fighting a war for 60 years, something's wrong. Something is not right. So people get caught up all in their emotions and all in their feelings. Yeah, the war on poverty celebrating 60 years. Instead of taking a step back and being like, that's really sad. Something's wrong with this picture. We've been fighting this war on poverty for 60 years and we haven't won it yet. And we haven't won it yet, people. And you know what? If you look at the statistics over the last 10 years, so that crosses multiple administrations, 24% more of the middle class has fallen into poverty. Don't listen to what the media says. Don't even listen to what I say. Fact check, people. Fact check. And I'm going to tell you to fact check the Affordable Health Care Act too. But actually, we took health care off the table only because there were only 2 students that actually signed up for health care. So I didn't have enough to make a meaningful group. So that's why I asked you guys for your group choices, your top 3, because I wanted to make sure that this was a meaningful experience. But we haven't, healthcare is an abject failure. And you're like, Gargano, what are you like? What party? It's nothing to do. I'm the party of the Constitution. I'm the party of the people of the United States. I'm the party of the capitalists. We have not, Affordable Health Care Act was an abject failure. First of all, the amount of money that we as taxpayers paid into it versus the benefit is a failure. The amount we paid in versus the benefit we got was horrific. Not only that, you couldn't keep your doctor and you couldn't keep your plan. In fact, 5 million people who were perfectly fine and happy on private insurance got booted off of private insurance because it didn't meet the government requirements. So I'm telling you, Fact check. Don't even just listen to me or people, but check your facts. So 24% of people over the last 10 years have fallen from middle class into poverty. That doesn't sound like the government did a really good job on that. And all of our taxpayer money going into to help solve and win the war on poverty, on drugs, on prison, on education, on healthcare, it's been an F all across the board. Let me just say this. I just want to make sure we're recording because I'm going on and on. And good stuff, though. It's good stuff going on and on. Let me just think about it this way, right? So if you gave me $10,000 of your money to invest, right? Say I came to you and I'm like, hey, you know, I'm an investment person. Give me $10,000 of your money, and I'll invest it for you. So then I come back to you, right? And I say, guess what? I didn't make you any money. But not only didn't I make you any money, I lost all of your money. So I didn't make you any money, and I also lost your entire $10,000. By the way, not only have I lost all your money, but I lost everybody's money that ever invested with me. And guess what? Any investment that anyone's ever made with me, I've never gotten them a return on investment. But guess what? Give me another $10,000 and let me try again. You will be like, who are you talking to? You must be out of your mind. You not only didn't make me any money, but you lost my 10 grand and you want me to give you another 10 grand? What, are you crazy? But listen to me, people. I almost said, listen to me, family. I almost went into preacher mode. Listen to me, family. Turn your neighbor on the left. Let me stop. Listen to me, folks. But that's what we do with the government. And we have to start looking at the government as a business. If the government was a private enterprise business, it would be broke. It would be broke from a private enterprise, from a free market capacity. It would be straight up broke and out of business and not in business. So then why do we say to the government, they say, we need to raise taxes to help our children because education. We need to raise our taxes to help people get out of poverty. We need to raise taxes to help people get out of prison. And we all say, yeah, raise our taxes, raise our taxes. But the bottom line is, where's the return on investment? The government has not been successful in any of those areas. Not poverty, not prison. We have among the highest incarceration rate in the world. Out of any developing country. Look at our prison system is a disaster. Education, we are in the bottom in terms of STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. So, yeah, let's raise our taxes because we got to educate the children. Why would you be on board for paying more taxes or raising taxes for something that has been an abject failure? That's no different than me coming to you and, like I said a minute ago with that analogy, saying, hey, let me give you 10 grand so I can invest it for you, but I lost your money. Why would you? Think about these things, people. So what I'm saying is, private enterprise can do it better. This is a phenomenal opportunity for you to really step into learning through experience and having the experience of creating a private enterprise solution to a real social issue that the government has not been able to solve. We rely on the government way too much, and the government, quite frankly, loses our money, wastes our money, mismanages our money, and doesn't give us anything close to a return on investment, not even preserving the principle. So I want you to think about these things, and that was my rationale behind it. So I'm really excited about you guys really getting into groups. I'm trying to look at the time. I want to keep this under 25 minutes, but you know how that goes. I tend to be a little bit long in the tooth, so they say. I want you guys really have the opportunity to create a phenomenal real world, private enterprise does it better solution or proposed solution to a social issue. And you're going to do it while learning about business because you're doing it through building a business plan. So you've got that deliverable. That's 40% of your grade. It's a group project, 18 to 21 pages of a business plan for private enterprise does it better. This is the launch of beginning to develop this business plan. So what you're going to do is you have from now until, I'm giving you guys 2 weeks because there's a lot involved. So you have almost 2 weeks, a day short of 2 weeks. You have until Tuesday, February 12th, 11:59 p.m. to turn in your first deliverable, which is your first 10 pages of your business plan as a group. So what are you going to spend your time doing over these next 2 weeks? That's a great question. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to locate your group work folder. So how do you find that out? I'm glad you asked. Let me pull this over here. So here's your, oh, this might be cut off because I think, yeah, I'm out of the screen. You're not going to be able to see this whole screen sort of over here because of the, oh wait, I can move this over. There we go. Boom, look at that. Learning and growing. We're all learning and growing. So here's your Business 110 course, right? So if you go over here and you scroll down, you'll see I added a couple things. Business Plan Toolkit, but you're not going to open that yet. You go to your Private Enterprise Can Do It Better work groups, okay? And I already emailed you, not emailed, sorry. I already, when I sent you your grade for the groups that you know, a while ago, I asked you guys and I gave you guys a lot of time to select your top 3 groups. I gave you your grade. You either got a 0 or 100. It's that simple, right? Sometimes I'm all about, even as a capitalist, I'm all about, hey, you know what? Let's give you a little something something so it'll energize you, so then you're gonna have the incentive to really go into full gear. I wanted to position you off right. So those of you who did answer the discussion post like you were supposed to, you got my feedback and you were told what group you were in. So that group also reflects your work group. So see here, you've got all these groups: poverty, prison, drugs, education. And you've got all of your fellow group members in here, right? Now, if you didn't sign up for a group, and there's a couple of you that didn't, that's not on me. I even posted an after in big yellow. You must sign up for a group by January 22nd, or you have to do the whole paper on your own as an individual. So that time has passed. That ship has sailed. If you don't see your name on this list, you didn't sign up for a group. So you're going to have to pick one of those topics, and you're going to have to write this paper, this deliverable, on your own as an individual. Again, that's part of the real world private enterprise, right? Private enterprise we talked about is based on work hard, incentives, rewards, right? There's built-in natural incentives for private enterprise. And that's the way it should be, right? We talked about why socialism doesn't provide the incentives. In fact, it actually takes incentives away from people, and why private enterprise is the best system. Is it perfect? No. But it is the best system we have, where socialism says, regardless of effort, everybody put in their effort, we put it in a big box and everybody redistribute, and everybody gets equal. How is that fair? Somebody who works really, really hard in school and really has earned an A gets their grade redistributed, so somebody doesn't do anything, the average becomes a B or a C. Come on now, that's not fair. How is that fair? Because it de-incentivizes the person who works really hard to work hard, because they're not going to get truly what they earned. They're going to get redistributed, put in the same box, and whether you worked really, really hard or didn't work at all, everybody gets the same benefit. How is that fair? Private enterprise is about your incentive and rewards. The amount of incentive and rewards is based on what you put in, right? So same thing with experiential education. So that being said, if you do not see yourself in a group, it's because you did not respond. And if I missed you, and I went over this 3 times, so I shouldn't have missed anyone, but I'm also human. If I missed you, then certainly email me and let me know that, hey, I did submit my discussion, but I went through that discussion board line by line, piece by piece. So you can't turn around and submit it now, because I will see the date and the time. So if you did not include your top 3 choices by January 22nd, which you were supposed to, if you did not do that, then you've got to do this paper individual, solo, on your own. It is what it is. If for some reason you did truly submit it by 1/22 and I missed you, then let me know, because when you send me that email, the first thing I'm going to do is go back into that discussion. If I see you listed there and I see a date and time stamp before the 22nd, then certainly I'll be like, you know what, I'm sorry, thank you for your email. I'm glad you caught this because I missed it, my miss, but thanks for bringing it to my attention. That being said, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to locate your group. You're going to click on your group. Unlike the other discussion posts where I make it so you have to write first and then post in order to respond and all that stuff, which is important because I want you to be authentic, genuine, really make a concerted effort to do it. Here is different because this is your work group. You're allowed to upload attachments. This is your work group to be effective. The first thing that I recommend you do is go to your Private Enterprise Can Do It Better link. That's, again, found underneath, right over here. Click on whatever group you're in and post how you can get contacted. Because the first thing you guys are going to have to do is you're going to have to connect with each other, and you're going to have to figure out how it is y'all are going to have to meet, right? So if you guys all live local to near Johnston Community College, then y'all can figure out about meeting in person and discussing this. If you guys are not local, then you'll have to do it via, there's a lot of free virtual meeting tools out there. One of them that I use is Zoom. But there's other, you guys are probably more up on it than I am, free social media virtual meeting tools. But your first step is post. Here's my contact information, email, phone number, whatever you're comfortable posting. I propose we meet in person. Does everybody live? And this is part of real life. This is part of that experiential learning, right? Y'all got to find out, contact each other, and determine how you're going to meet, right? I would recommend you meet a minimum of 3 times, either in person or over the phone or over virtual chat to get your first 10 pages together. Again, you have 2 weeks, but that's the first step I would do. Is do that. Once you finish that and you post, hold on, here we go. Once you do that, these are your individual discussion. These are your work groups. Again, I opened it up so there's you have to post first to see. These are your work groups. These are for your individual work groups. So make sure you only operate within whatever your group is. You go in there, you post, you work out logistics. When are we going to meet? I also included allow attachments so you guys can upload, various, you're going to be doing research. There's going to be links, a lot of this stuff. Again, it's big time collaboration. And so the other thing is your final group, your part 1 group deliverable, your 10 pages that you're going to produce. You're going to choose one person within this group after you all work on it together to upload that file into your respective work group, because that's the way I'm going to download it and see it. So you're going to say, part 1, deliverable, attached. That's what I'm going to download. It's got to be there by the 12th, because that's what I'm going to, your first grade for that first part 1 of your deliverable, that's where it's going to come from, okay? So that being said, that's that. Then the second thing is, you're going to want to go here to your business toolkit, right? Your business plan toolkit, you're going to, this folder contains all your components you need to complete your deliverables. I want to make sure you guys also, once you unzip, it's a zipped file. So and I'm not going to click on it because then it opens up all the files, but you're going to click on it. It's all zipped. Once you unzip it, I also have, let me click on it for now because there's 2 things in here. You've got the business plan toolkit, which is the unzipped of the files. And then you got the snapshot of what the contents are. So I'm going to put this over here. When you unzip it, you should have 11 files. Here they all are right here. That's the snapshot I put in this one right here to compare to make sure they're all there. This right here is your working document. This is your go-to, your Score Deluxe startup business. That's where you want to start. All these other things are important, but don't get overwhelmed for them right now. You're going to need them throughout your as you develop your group business plan to solve your social issue through Private Enterprise Doing It Better. All of those Excel documents are your financial statements. Again, don't be concerned about it now. Your go-to right now, I mean, you could look at them, go through them, stuff like that, but your number 1 go-to is your Score Deluxe Startup Business Plan template. Here's the other thing I'm going to say to you guys. I downloaded all of the associated Excel financial documents for you because I needed to update them. So do not go to the Score website and download the Excel documents because they are not updated. That's why I took the time and the care to go through every one of these documents that you need, downloaded them and updated them. So these are all the documents you need right here. So when it says click here to download the 12-month cash flow, in fact, I took a lot of that out. So I revamped the business plan. But if I miss something and it says click here to download the 12-month cash flow, don't click anywhere. You're going to go here because these are the most updated. But this is where you're going to start your Score Deluxe startup business, okay? So once you do that, I'm going to show you what it looks like. Where am I? Here I am. Okay. You click on that document, and this is what you're going to see, okay? The first 10 pages are what you and your group is going to work on, all right? Here's the other thing. If you guys want to meet with me during my office hours, I am A-okay with that. You guys have my syllabus. You know when my office hours are. If you are local to the Johnson Community College, then we can do a face-to-face. You just come into my office. Location is all in the syllabus. And we could meet as a group at that time. If you want to meet individually, I'll meet individually. But again, as a group, you guys want to be gelling as a group. Here's the other thing. If one or more people aren't doing their part, I need to know about it. Because in the real world experiential, then we all as a group need to have a conversation. If other members are having concerns over a group member not pulling their weight, then we need to have that conversation. Because if we can't get things rectified where everybody feels good about what everybody's doing and everybody's pulling their weight, those that aren't pulling their weight are going to end up doing this individually, because that's the fairest thing to do. Again, this isn't socialism, this is capitalism, and that's the way it's got to work. And it's not to punish those who aren't doing their weight. One, we always want to give the opportunity for those who aren't pulling their weight to say, hey, this is an opportunity for you to really step it up. How can we help you really step it up? Get into that cheerleader mode. But if that cheerleader mode and that encouragement mode doesn't work, then we got to say, hey, we got to put you in your own group so you can, grow and do on as an individual, so to speak. So you'll start by reading this. And the other thing is I got this from score.org, which is a wonderful, wonderful group. SCORE is a group of retired business professionals that provide free advice to entrepreneurs starting up. It's a phenomenal group. So in that link that's in that week 4 folder that I'm going to get to in a minute, you click on that link. In addition, again, don't re-download any of the business plan templates from the website because I already updated. You'll be downloading outdated things. I went through, I customized, I updated. So use, again, what is in the small business toolkit folder in the zip files. That's what you need. But I say that to say, click on the link because what it will do is it gives you a lot of really good information on each of the sections. How do you do this? How do you do this? How do you do this? So the first thing you guys are going to do after you put out your contact information and determine how you're going to meet, and again, I would recommend you guys get together as a group 3 times over the next 2 weeks, and you all decide who's going to do what, and those meetings are sort of your milestone. Milestone 1, all right, what did everybody accomplish? Let's put it together. Milestone 2, what everybody accomplished, put it together. Milestone 3, okay, let's wrap it up and let's submit it by the 12th in our respective work group. Read this. Page 1, business plan. You're going to insert the date. Okay, anytime by the 12th. Company name. You guys, right? You've been reading the book. You guys as a group have to come up with a company name. The company name should reflect what it is you're trying to solve, and it should be catchy. Again, it's private enterprise. We're not doing nonprofits. We're doing for profits, okay? You can make up a street address where you want to be. Business phone, just make up a phone number where you want that to be. Also, the website URL, ideally you would have a URL. I would recommend you come up with something that isn't an actual live URL but sounds catchy. Your business name should match your URL. For example, one of my companies, I have a sole proprietorship. I manage a nonprofit that I founded. You can't technically own a nonprofit, but I founded a nonprofit and I manage it. And then I have a corporation. My sole proprietorship, nonprofit, and corporation all have the URLs that match. So for example, my latest venture, my sole proprietor, HMD Ministries, has a website to match. Before I even filed my paperwork for my business, I wanted to make sure there was a URL available. Because again, as far as marketing and branding, you don't want to create confusion to your customers. My corporation, Supernatural Life Coach Incorporated, I made sure supernaturallifecoach.com was available. So I say this to say, you're not going to spend the money in for real register a URL, but I want you to think whatever your business name is I want your URL to match it. So if you come up with a name for your business and you find that in real life that URL is taken, guess what? You got to come up with a different name for a business and find a URL that's not taken and then put the pretend URL that really in real life isn't taken on your page. And this is what I say to folks. I say to students and I say to clients, I say, look, and they're like, man, I had a great name for a business, but the URL was taken. I say, you know what? look at it this way. That gives you an opportunity to come up with even a better name for your business. And that's the way it is. But for the fact that that URL is taken, you wouldn't have the opportunity to come up with something even better. So that's what you're going to do. Confidentiality agreement, you leave this exactly the way it is. So you already got a freebie page in there, page number 2. This we'll talk about more. I'm going to go way over 26 minutes. But you know what? This stuff's important. So, and again, this is what I want to do as a video. Spend the time to get everything in order first. So you guys, boom, you're ready to go and you're excited. In the real world, before you would ever talk to somebody about your business, especially revealing confidential information, you would want them to sign a confidentiality agreement before they even looked at anything to protect you legally. So they can't steal your proprietary or intellectual property. What you don't want is you have this awesome business idea, this awesome business name. You pitch it to an investor, prospective investor, other people that want, maybe you think would go in on you, and they're like not interested. And then you're driving down the street and you're like, whoa, 6 months later, that's the name of my business. Guess what? Unless you had them sign a confidentiality agreement, there's nothing you can do legally. Well, there's some things, but that's a whole different area, and it's a lot of work. So if somebody says in the real world, man, I'm offended you would make me sign this confidentiality. Guess what? Big red flag. Well, sorry, can't talk to you then. Business is business. It's not personal. And if people make business personal, then that's a big red flag, okay? You always, and you want to say to somebody, look, this is to protect both of us right here as far as the confidentiality. So that's that, but there's nothing else you need to do on that page. Here's your table of contents. You're going to leave this the way it is, but as you continue to create your pages, obviously you'll need to adjust your page numbers here. Your executive summary comes after you write your business plan because it's exactly that. It's a summary of your entire business plan. An executive summary of any sort is a summary or an overview of that entire thing, whether it be a paper or other deliverables such as a product, a service, a proposal, whatever. So you're going to do that last, all right? Your company description, this is where you're going to come up. This is where what is the social need that you are looking to address? What is the social problem that you are looking to solve? Based out of that, you're going to write your mission statement, your philosophy, your vision statement. That's why I had you guys do some of those exercises up front to watch some of the things and to participate and read some of those things and discuss some of those things and do some of those assignments, because little by little, I'm trying to train your brain so you're ready for the vision statement, the philosophy, right? So you're going to come together as a group. And here's the other thing as far as the group goes. For those of you that are super A-type personalities and assertive like I am, this is your opportunity as a real growth moment to take a step back and give others the opportunity that are a little bit more shy, a little bit more reserved to step forward. That's what real leadership is. Real leadership is giving others the opportunity to help come forward and step out and sort of coach them and say, hey, what do you think about it? That's what I'll do. Like when I'm meeting with people, I'm always watching and I'm always listening. Even if it doesn't look like I'm watching or seem like I'm listening, I'm watching and I'm listening. And those people that kind of sit back and don't say anything, I'll say, hey, what do you think about that? Hey, why don't you write this stuff on the board? I think it would be great for you to be able to, visualize this for us. Because what I want to do is I'm always looking to give other people the opportunity to develop and stretch themselves and sort of that. So those of you that are sort of those take charge, the best gift you can give to yourself and others in developing yourself as a leader is to make sure that others have the opportunity to come forth and contribute and have a voice. And that's the other thing. For those who are constantly speaking, those that don't, not only are you robbing them of the opportunity to grow, but they're going to become dependent on you to always speak. That's why in my seated classes, everybody knows they're always going to get called on if they don't speak. Because I want to be able to give that gift of the opportunity for everyone to become comfortable being uncomfortable and developing in those areas. So that being said, y'all get together. Goals, right? So with your company goals, SMART goals, right? Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. SMART goals. Google, right? This is part of your research. Gargano, you went kind of quick on that. That's okay, right? In the real world experiential, you're going to Google stuff. Now, make sure you're Googling stuff and you're getting credible results, but I just told you what SMART stands for, right? Google SMART goals. It'll give you more information. For your company goals, I want 3 short-term goals, which are 3 one-year goals, 3 mid-range goals, which are 3 to 5 years, and 3 long-term range goals, which are 7 years or more, okay? These are the goals in terms of once you determine what is the social issue you're looking to solve, right? Then how are you going to get there? That's the mission. The vision is the what, the mission is the how, and then the goals are what get you to the how. Here's the other thing I want to talk to you guys about. Like if you have poverty. Poverty's huge, right? So pick one aspect of poverty. One aspect of poverty that you want to work on developing a product or service towards solving that. Same thing with prison is huge. Pick one aspect. Is it to prevent people from going in? Is it to lower recidivism rate? What are you looking to solve, right? These are going to be for profit. Same thing with education. Do you want to pick a certain grade? Do you want to pick a certain subject? Do you want to pick a certain state? You don't even have to make this nationwide to begin with. Do you want to pick a certain state? Do you want to pick a certain school district? So you see what I'm saying? This is why you guys are going to need 2 weeks. You need to brainstorm both in your work group folder, over the phone, in person. Brainstorm. You need to do that. Target market, you're going to leave that for now. We're not going to discuss it. Industry, you need to use your library's resources and research industry. Hoover's is an excellent database for understanding your industry. If you're in, what is the industry that your business would be in? Legal structure, you got to determine. Is it going to be a sole proprietorship? It's clearly not by virtue of the fact that you have multiple people. Is it going to be a partnership or is it going to be a corporation? And then what type of corporation? Guess what? You guys should already read this, but page 126 has a nice table on the different legal structures, including this whole chapter really breaks it down nice. So think about, talk among yourselves. What are the pros and cons? What kind of legal structure are you going to be? Next worksheet, right? You got your business name. You already got your mission statement, your value, your philosophy, your values, your vision, your goals. So this now is all, once you spent that time doing it, now you're pasting it into here. You're going to leave your target market blank. Who are your competitors, right? In some cases, as a for-profit, you may have no competitors given the type of area that you're in or your geographic location, but you have to research. Again, 85% of a business plan is research. 15% is what you put on paper. I equate it to, for any of you out there that play sports or, or ever prepared for something, the majority of time you're spending off the game field, on the training field, behind the scenes, training for that small period of time where it's game time. 85% of what you're preparing for your 15% business plan, game time plan, is all the research, the backroom conversations, research, all that stuff, right? Research if you have any competitors. Legal structure, you put it in there now, right? So that's all what this is right here. The company description worksheet is a snapshot of what you already put together. Products and services, you need to determine based on the need you're trying to meet. Are you offering a product or are you offering a service, or is it both? And then you talk about, and don't get too much into this, but read this. You want to make sure you have competitive advantage, all this other stuff. Read, the description of what it is. And then you need to say, what is your product or service, idea, benefits, unique features, all this stuff. For every product or service, you have to have a separate product and service description worksheet, okay? I need at least between 1 and 3 products or services, all right? So that's what that is for. And there's your 10 pages. So like I said, a lot of your time is in that preparation, in that research. Now let me just say a word about groups, okay? And again, this is real life stuff, everyone. This is experiential learning that you don't get from being in a classroom. And then when you have that prospective interview, and either in the near future or the long future, and the prospective employer says, what did you learn in college, or on your application to your 4-year college or grad school, one of the questions is, what did you learn in your undergraduate? You can say, you know what, I took this crazy guy Gargano's class, and in Gargano's class we actually worked as part of a team, and we created a private enterprise business to solve a social problem. And we actually created an 18 to 21 page business plan from start to finish, creating a private enterprise company to solve a real world social issue. Boom! That's going to put you above everyone else. And not to mention, the stuff you're going to learn through this experience is way more than you can ever learn in any lecture. So that being said, one more word about groups. So there's 4 stages in groups, and this is why I love groups, because people hate groups. That's why I love groups, because people hate them. Is it because I want to torture people? No, because it really stretches people to really develop those areas that they need to develop, right? Especially in terms of becoming comfortable being uncomfortable. So let me just say this about that, right? 4 stages of groups: storming, forming, norming, performing. Look it up. The 4 stages of group development. Forming, what would I just say? I'm a little tired here, family. Storming, forming, norming, performing, okay? Your group members at first should drive you insane. You should want to just, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I can't say it on the TV or on the webcam. But my point is that's good then. That's normal. Because here's the thing. First group is storming. What is storm? What is a storm? What are they? All kinds of electrons and protons and neutrons. I'm not a science person, so I might be getting something that's wrong. But all these atoms, that's what a storm is. They bump into each other. Boom, boom. What's going on? Oh my God, a storm, right? Boom. So you got all of these individual personalities coming together, and y'all are bumping into each other, right? All the different temperament types, all the different personality types, people with strong opinions, weak opinions, no opinions, wish they had an opinion, bumping into each other. You're creating a big storm. Normal. That's normal, right? Now, don't go get crazy. I'm talking about it's normal within the realms of, nobody get crazy and all do something crazy, but I mean, it's normal. Once you actually storm, you begin to form. Groups take on their own personality. Just like individuals have their own personality, neighborhoods have their own personality, cultures have their own personality, geographic regions have their own personality, companies have their own personality, groups begin to form their own personality. So as you begin to form, a piece of all your personalities start to come together and form group norms, group personalities, group expectations, things of that nature, right? Then you begin to normalize. So now you're normalizing into, again, group normalizations, expectations, routines, things of that nature. And then you get to the place where you're performing. Now you're going like a locomotive and y'all are working together. So I say this to say the beginning should be rough. If it's not rough, there's something wrong here, right? It's just like when people that are married never talk to each other and then you wonder why they end up divorced. It's because they never talked to each other. They never really shared what was bothering. They never had healthy conflict. When there is healthy conflict and there is unhealthy conflict. But it is unhealthy to avoid healthy conflict. Healthy conflict is important. It helps people understand each other more. It helps people learn. It helps people grow. It helps people stretch themselves to better understanding and becoming better people and working together in greater ways to accomplish even bigger things. So that's what I'm talking about. So this is what you're going to turn in. So let me see if there's anything else I want to cover here. Okay, so in your assignments. Okay, week number 4, go for more. I try to come up with these catchy things, y'all. You should know that by now. Week number 4, go for more. And week 5, let's get live, okay? So the first thing you're going to do, you already did. You watched my video, okay? You got your business plan toolkit, right? You're going to unzip. You're going to download. That's the other thing. You guys got to determine, are you going to put your template somewhere on a group drive, whether it's a Google Doc or some other collaboration drive? I like Google Docs, but I'm not going to tell you what you should use. But I would recommend putting it onto one drive where you can all work on it, share it, whatever. But that's for you guys to discuss. You've got figure 5.7, which is the different forms of business ownership, found on page 124. The SCORE website, like I said, the link is there. When you click on the link, a lot of additional information on each of the sections. But again, don't download anything there because I updated everything when I downloaded it. So don't. And then your first 10-page deliverable, which is due by Tuesday, February 12th, 2019, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So again, where are you going to put that? You guys have to determine. That's why you collaborated a group. Make sure everything is everything. And then one of the individuals will upload that document as a file attachment within the work group and say, part 1, you put the name of your company, business plans beginning, right? Part 1, name of company, business plan beginning. That's what you're going to do. I won't accept them. I left those, let me say this, and then we'll conclude. I left those discussion boards open for the entire class, because I want you guys to feel that, I want you guys to know that you have those work group folders for the entire semester, so I don't let the links expire. But so this being said, I'm not going to accept the submission after February 12th. So even though you're able to, because I'm not turning off the links, because I want you guys to have those work groups throughout the whole semester, even though you will be able to upload after the 12th, I won't accept them after the 12th. Everything is date and timestamp. So you guys got to get your first 10 pages in. I need to have it date and timestamp no later than February 12, 2019, 11:59 p.m., or I will not accept it, okay? And again, for those couple of you who didn't put a group in, you got to pick one, and you got to get an individual deliverable to me by the 12th. So anyway, that's it. I'm excited. Again, y'all, I'm here. So you have questions, call, email, stop in during office time, come in as a group, and here we go. But I'm excited to see what you guys are going to come up with. It's just amazing. I'm just excited. Group work, and I will be quiet now, even though I said it a bunch of times. But when groups come together for a specific purpose, and they do the right thing, they work together towards a common goal, it creates what's called synergy. Synergy is when the sum of the whole is greater than that of the individual parts. What does that mean? In synergy, 1 + 1 = 3, because something extra and greater is created that otherwise could not be created by individuals. And that's the power of groups. They create these wonderful, remarkable products and services and companies and paradigm shifts that they otherwise would not be able to create on their own. On that note, you guys get ready, get set, go. I'm looking forward, and peace out.